Hello guys, welcome to my channel techietoes, and this is the third video of the course Getting Started with Arduino, which is Introduction to Arduino. Right, so let's get started. So I have two Arduino boards here, and in my previous videos I said that I'll be using Arduino Nano, and then I also requested you guys to buy Arduino Nano instead of Arduino UNO. And just for comparison, I have both the boards here. So on the left hand side is the Arduino Nano, and on the right hand side we have Arduino UNO. Now, as you can see, the difference between these two boards is the size, first of all. So the Nano is almost, if I can say, it's 1/3 of the size of UNO, and that benefits us a lot when especially we want to make some small projects. We don't have enough space and we don't want to create our own PCB. Then we can directly use Arduino Nano instead of UNO. Alright, now let's look at the pinouts of Arduino Nano. Now before I proceed, I want to state that I haven't covered all the features that Arduino Nano offers, and I've excluded some of the features, and just to name few, I've included them in the slide below. So it's SPI interface, I2C, PWM, ICSP, and analog pin special case. Now SPI and I2C are two protocols basically, which Arduino Nano has and which can be used with several sensors and devices to communicate with your board. All right, so I'm not going to cover that now because we are not going to use any such sensor that will be using SPI or I2C for communication with our Arduino board. Now when it comes to PWM, we are not going to use that feature in this course. PWM stands for pulse width modulation. If you are an electronics student, you might know this, but for this course we are not going to use it, so I'm not going to cover that topic. I just want to keep it really simple, and since this is a beginner course, I have included only that material which is required for you to get started. Then comes the ICSP. So the 6 pins that I showed you on Arduino Nano, the pins that you can see here on the right, these are again used to communicate with other Arduino boards. Okay, so not going to do that in this course. And then there is a special case with some of the analog pins. It's that some of the analog pins can be used as both input and output, right? And some of the analog pins can be used only for input. So we are not going to look into that right now. So now let's start with what we want out of this video and this course in terms of getting to know your Arduino Nano board. So I'll start from top right corner over here. Now you have two pins, TX and RX. This is the transmitter pin and this is the receiver pin. Okay, TX and RX. Now these are used to communicate with your laptop over the serial bus. Okay, so these are called the UART out and UART in pins. Okay, so when you upload your code from your laptop to Arduino Nano board, these two pins are used, and if you want to read any values from your Arduino Nano board into the laptop, again these two pins are used. So these pins are used for serial communication. Okay, now next comes the D2 pin. So pin D2 to D13 are the digital pins. Okay, now these pins are used as output pins. Okay, and there is a special case with D13 pin. So if you look at the picture here, you will see 4 LEDs. So these rectangles, the yellow rectangles with a white rectangle in it, this is an LED. Okay, so you have 4 LEDs on board on the Arduino Nano board, and these are used as an indication to your processes. Okay, so the first two are the TX and RX pins. So whenever you are exchanging data with your Arduino board, Nano or UNO, whichever board it is, these two LEDs will blink, showing that the data exchange is taking place. Okay, then the third LED is for power. So when you power up your Arduino Nano board, this LED will glow up. The last one is this. This is labeled as L. This LED is connected in series with your D13 pin. Okay, and there is a resistor also connected in series to it. So let's say in the next video we are going to look at the first program, which is LED blink. We will be using this LED as an example. Okay, we will be blinking this LED, and in that case we won't be requiring any external resistor because there is already an onboard resistor which is connected in series with this LED. Okay, now the next pin is 3V3. So I'll talk about this and the 5V pin together because they both do the same thing except that the voltage level is different. So these pins provide 3.3 volts and 5 volts respectively. Okay, so if you have a requirement of 3.3 volts or 5 volts in your circuit, you can use these two pins to power up that circuit. Now it's a good thing, but there is a limitation on the current. So these two pins can deliver very less current. So I don't remember exactly the value, but I believe it's less than 10 milliamperes. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, that's the current limitation. So if your circuit requires less current but still needs 3.3 volts, you can definitely use these two pins. Otherwise, you will have to use an external power supply. Okay. Now next comes is pin A0 to A7. Now these pins are called the analog pins, and these are usually used to take input from, let's say, sensors or buttons or any other device that can output information, right? Now there are two ground pins on your Arduino Nano board. Now these pins are used to connect your circuit ground that will complete your circuit. Then the last is VIN pin. Now this is something important to note. So when you plug your mini USB cable to the Arduino Nano board, the laptop will power up your board, right? But what if you want to use your Arduino Nano board somewhere else when you have not connected it to your laptop? How will you power up your board? Okay, and you also do not have the luxury of using a mini USB cable in that case. So then we can use this VIN pin, which is also called the input voltage input, right? Which is where you can connect an external power supply to power up your Arduino Nano board. Now, however, you can connect any power supply, but from my experience, I have figured out that any power supply that's in the range of 5 volts to 12 volts with a current supply of 1 ampere, maximum 1 ampere, is ideal for your Arduino Nano board. Now, if you connect your, let's say, 12 volt 2 ampere power supply to the board, I have experienced in some cases that this microcontroller chip starts to heat up, right? So this is the ideal range. 5 volt 1 ampere is perfect for your board. So yeah, that's about it. That's everything you need to know about Arduino Nano when you're just starting out. So thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.